This is interesting. Nearly 30% of LGBTQ women candidates for office were discouraged to run due to their gender or gender identity, according to stupid pop up, a report released Wednesday. The news report from the LGBTQ Victory Institute and Loyola Marymount University's LGBTQ Politics Research Initiative found that 27.2% of LGBTQ women candidates in the survey were discouraged from running because of their gender or gender identity, according to the report. The percentage of LGBTQ women who faced discouragement because of their gender or gender identity was 4 times higher than that of gay and bisexual men, 7.1%. LGBTQ women face obstacles at a greater rate than gay and bisexual men even before entering the race, and these disparities continue in various ways on the campaign trail, the report reads. This report brief shows women are more likely to be discouraged to run and worry more about harassment or attacks on the trail. The report also found that LGBTQ women face more attacks on their personal appearance at 40.8% versus their gay and bisexual male counterparts at 27.8%. More LGBTQ women candidates were also more likely to face attacks on their personal appearance at least weekly at 10.9% versus gay and bisexual men at 4.9%. And Anise Parker, president and CEO of the LGBTQ Victory Institute, said in a statement on the report that it is clear that data shows that in comparison to LGBTQ men candidates, LGBTQ women candidates are more likely to be discouraged from running for office based on their gender, are more likely to be attacked for their appearance, and face greater media bias. Despite the obstacles, LGBTQ women must continue to claim their seat at the table by running for office, Parker said. It's on all of us to help level the playing field for LGBTQ women candidates by recruiting and supporting them, calling out media bias, and holding bigots accountable. In 2022 midterms, a record 340 openly LGBTQ candidates ran and won their election, the so-called Rainbow Wave, with candidates such as current Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey, who became the nation's first openly lesbian governor, notching wins. The data from the report comes from an earlier survey by the LGBTQ Victory Institute and Loyola Marymount University. The survey was conducted between April 3rd and May 17, 2023, with 473 American LGBTQ candidates, 147 of whom were women, who ran for office between 2018 and 2022. I thought this story was interesting because I think anytime someone contemplates running for office, there's usually some deliberation about it, like, hey, do I really want to do this? Do I have the patience? Do I, believe in this? And I've always believed that as someone who's, made their first attempt, I guess earlier this year, that there is credibility in taking a step back and going, is this really what I want to do? And some people can't put up with being attacked. They can't put up with having someone talk about their physical appearance. I do find it interesting because it seems like nowadays I'm more likely to see people saying nasty things about my appearance, like online versus in person. But these are all legitimate criticisms to have of just even like of why someone would be discouraged from doing this. But what I will say is that I think people are discounting the actual attention that gets paid to most races. So, for example, if somebody's running for president, they're going to attract attention in pretty much every facet of their life: their finances, their background, what successes they've had prior to running for this office. But if they're running for the House, or, hell, even a Senate seat, it's very likely that whatever scrutiny they do receive will be much more minimal than that of someone that's running for I guess the national position, as one would call it. You look at somebody like Barbara Lee, where you had this lady that had been in the House for 20 years plus and ran for the Senate, and I personally think she lost as a combination of a lack of name recognition and also her and Katie Porter splitting the progressive vote. But the point I'm making is there are people who have been in this stuff even for like literal decades, and they're still not that well known to where you would even see people just every day going online, this person's ugly, this person is, whatever other comment they want to make about the way someone looks. So I just think that they should factor in how much attention these races are getting, because there's a lot of instances where you'll see a few news articles about, this person's running for this, and then the story, you almost never see it. Even on the local news, they won't talk about it. Also, I should say that, I get again, the reluctance on their part, but, and I don't want to sound insensitive, it kind of comes with the territory. I just think if somebody really wants to do something and they believe that if they're running for office that there's no one else in the race who's bringing attention to this issue or a set of issues, they should do it. You know, I just can't see a scenario where I'm part of some, you know, oppressed group or whichever, and I just say, yeah, I'm not. I don't want people to talk about the way I look. People talk about the way you look, whether you run for office or not. More people are likely to probably talk about it, in that, you know, if you run. But I mean, sometimes you can just have unprompted criticisms. I mean, there's plenty of videos people put online, for example, where somebody will come on there and complain about their camera quality or their audio quality or what they have in their background or what they're wearing. You know, it's like basically anytime you put yourself out there, just expect some crazy person to bring up something that really doesn't matter. And you just have to have a thick enough skin to swat it away or not be bothered by it. And I hope that, you know, more people are able to do that. But I do think these are legitimate reasons for why one would be discouraged. It really just comes down to how much are you going to let those particular reasons get in, I don't want to say the way, but just kind of like dissuade you from wanting to do something if you really want to do it. Because some people, you know, they kind of like dip their toe. Do I want to do this? But when they finally pull the plug and go, let's have it, then you know that they're serious.